Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Mike Robinson, and this is another episode of Let's Take a Walk. I hope everybody had a safe and awesome week, as I did. As usual, it's always seems like such a blur. You go to sleep on Sunday night and you wake up and it's Friday. But thank God for allowing us to see another week go through. As you know, Let's Take a Walk is May for Let's Take a Walk is the month of the power couple. And so each week we have a different power couple on the platform to talk about marriage, ministry, business, and whatever else comes forth. You know, I don't put any limits on it. Tonight is no different. We have the dynamic duo. We have my brother and my sister. We have my friend. You know, I don't even know how to describe them, but they are definitely a dynamic power couple. They are, as I posted on Facebook, the epitome of a power couple. This is Richard and Natasha Press. They are pastors, they are ministers, they are philanthropists, they are entrepreneurs, they are just, you name it, they do it. And so I had to get them on this month. For those of you who may not be familiar with their movement, I'm just going to give them a few moments to kind of reintroduce themselves and give a little background on what they have going on at this point. So with that being said, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. Mama, we made it. We on Let's Take a Walk. Mama, we made it.
Stop it, stop it, stop it. Uh-oh. They froze up for a second.
Right, Les, you got us on here?
Yes, you froze. You froze for a second. You starting to move a little bit.
Okay.
But we can hear you though.
You can hear us.
Oh, you can hear us.
Okay.
I was gonna say the best way to title this is family, brother.
Okay, there you go.
We are so excited, man, to be up here and to be able to join you on Let's Take a Walk. We've been watching your progression over the years, Mike.
Yes.
And I gotta say, man, consistency is the name of the game, brother, and you got it.
Yeah.
You got it, man.
Thank you.
We're just excited and man, we hope this thing blows up.
Absolutely.
Man. Keep blowing up. So I guess we'll be talking about us, right?
Yeah. Well, I just want to say before we even get started, just thank you. It's such an honor for you to have us up here. You know, we joke and say, Mama, you made it, but we love you, Mike, and we love your podcast. So
thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. So a little bit about us. We are natives of the Hampton Roads area. I have had the honor of being married to this beautiful woman of God coming up on 15 years.
15 years.
15 years, and we still together.
Oh my gosh.
15 years, and we've been in ministry for almost the entire time, and God has been blessing us tremendously with parents of 4 beautiful boys. Yeah. And they are trying their best to be quiet while we're here. Praise the Lord. Keep praying for us.
And make you no promises.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, we have been through different walks of professions and life in the Hampton Roads area for many years. For myself, I'm a native, so I've been through. I gotta tell you, I worked in promotions. A lot of people know me from promoting. Brought different shows, national artists. I have done even little skate parties and stuff. We used to come to. But ministry has always been the forefront of everything that I've done, and the Lord has finally seen fit to move me into something different.
Something different.
Something very different. Pastoring. So that's where we are right now. It's just, trying to continue to stay in his will and grow the Well Church. That's the name of the church, the Well Church, Virginia. And that's what we doing. What you got, baby?
The same, we're excited about just the season and what God is doing, I think one of the great things, even as you mentioned, like all the things that we've done throughout the years, just watching the Lord bring those things together into one collective effort. So all the promoting and all of the parties and all of the ministries that we've served in, just watching bits and pieces of our life, over the last, I don't know, I've been serving in ministry for 20 something years, but just watching him bring all those pieces together and make sense of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you're not gonna say anything about your singing for real?
Yes,
why you do that,
Mike? Now you knew how we were gonna be up here now, right? You knew this, right? Okay,
why
all right.
do that?
Just as long as you do.
Don't feed Mike Robinson because he gonna act up. So
all those who are watching right now, you might want to go ahead and hit that share button because we're about to get it in with Mike tonight. Go ahead and hit that share button because it's about to be a beautiful ride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I love even that story, just how I met Mike. I met Mike through you promoting and him being Mike. We tried to give him a name. We tried to give him Mike Rob. We tried to shorten his name, but just singing and ministering in the area. So good times with that.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So let's start from the beginning. How and where did you guys meet?
Nobody believes us when we tell where we met. They just think we're being real super spiritual.
Okay.
Man, look, we're gonna be real with now. Sometimes our stories tend to fluctuate a little bit.
Oh gosh, yes,
because I'm sticking to mine. I know I met her before we met, but I'm gonna tell you when we met. All right.
Okay.
We met
Just we actually met at a young adult prayer group. Real talk, not a young adult prayer group. Some young people from all different types of ministries in their early 20s were linking up together for prayer and to discuss the Word of God. And I met her there, and she was a fireball for the Lord.
Oh my God!
Holy Ghost, fire baptized. I said, this girl right here on it. I think I need to get saved again.
I was there. Yeah. I was there to pray, Mike. I don't know why he was there, but I know I was there.
Right.
I promise I wasn't praying on anybody. I came to pray too.
He came to pray.
Right.
I'm just joking.
But he's the friend of a wife.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how we met. But we didn't link up there. It actually was some time after. Because actually she wasn't really, she didn't particularly care for me during the time.
Why do you have to tell
the prayer group? She didn't. But we met afterwards, and I guess I used to wear this cologne called Issey Miyake, and let me tell you, the anointing on that oil, she could not escape it.
Got you.
She couldn't escape it.
I wore that today, matter of fact. Yes, sir. I understand.
See, man, we were linked in the spirit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you guys met as youngins, huh?
Yeah.
I was young.
Okay, so we fast forward. You see so silly. We fast forward to now you guys are married. You have weathered the storms, the ups and downs, and everything that comes with a young couple, and now you have uh, become one, and now you have decided to embark in the ministry. And we talking about the Well Church, as you mentioned earlier. So, what's the story behind the Well Church? What's the origin of that? Whose brainchild was that?
You take that one, baby.
I don't know if it was any one particular brainchild, but no, go ahead. I'd rather you take that one.
Of course you would.
Oh, damn.
Okay. So the Well Church started from a Bible scripture in the book of John that was near and dear to our hearts, talking about the Samaritan woman. It's very familiar to a lot of people, how Jesus met the woman at the well. And when we looked at that scripture, the Lord has shown us that would embody what he wanted us to do with this church, because we did not want to do anything that was similar to what we had already come from. As a matter of fact, that was spoken over us by Apostle Charlie Amos. Shout out Apostle Charlie Amos. Shout out
Charlie AC.
Yeah. But he said that nothing that we did was going to resemble what we've seen. And not that anything that we've seen is wrong. It's just it's going to be different. And one of the things that this woman dealt with then, that a lot of people are dealing with now, is that they don't necessarily run to the church because they feel like there's a perception on them based on their lifestyle, based on what they've come through in life, or based on what they are right then. And the Lord had dealt with that woman at the well, that regardless of where you're from or where you think you are in life, this well will never run dry.
Here's your reminder.
Oh, wow.
It's time for the bus. Let's meet at the door.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Yeah,
one more time, brother. Sorry about
Here's
that.
your reminder.
So sorry.
It's time for the bus. Let's meet at the door.
All right. We have to put our house on a timer.
Understood.
We'll probably talk about that in here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
How we get this done. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, that when we think about, how anyone is welcome at the well, regardless of what you may think and what you may feel, the Lord is, what you've been through, the Lord is still there for each and every one of us, regardless of our background, regardless of what we've done or what we think we haven't done. And that was a good basis for what this church is going to be about, because we know we're called to creatives, we know we're called to young people, we're called to older people, we're called to all people. So this is not going to be one of those churches where you're seeing one type of person all the time. But we're wide open. So yeah, that was the basis behind the Well Church.
Okay, Natasha, when Pastor Richard came to you talking about some Well Church, what was your first thought?
Well, it really didn't go down like that. It was kind of the other way around. So it was interesting because that I remember the Lord showing me us pastoring and us starting the well. We didn't have the name or anything for it at the time. And I was like, okay, Lord, if this is your will, I can't be the one to tell Rich. I didn't want to be the one to say the Lord said that we was going to do X, Y, and Z. And I really felt like, that's going to be something, Lord, that you have to reveal to him or reveal to him through somebody else, but it can't be me. Because at the end of the day, when things get difficult or when things seem shaky or when I don't ever want it to be my voice, well, you said, you know what I mean? So I said, I need you to speak and for us to come into agreement. And so that was my prayer. And so for probably about a month and a half or 2 months, I held that thing. I didn't say a word. And I waited, and then the time came and it was revealed to him. And so when that time came, I was just grateful. I was thankful. Of course, it's relieving and confirming, and it's just like, okay, Lord, I hear you. We're gonna do what you call us to do.
That's right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we're sitting down and we're talking about it's really about the dynamic of marriage as you guys see it. And that's what I really want to kind of dig into tonight. And I really find it interesting, not just with you, but a lot of couples that I've come across on and off the platform. How you're able to coexist and you're able to find your direction. You know what I'm saying? And like you were saying, Tosh, about you had a vision, but you were kind of iffy on how to present it to him, or whether or not to present it to him.
Right.
So now that you guys are up and running, you're fully functional now. You are the first lady, I guess. Is that has it been tough for you to find your voice? Is there a dynamic where ever a time where you felt like, or has it been a challenge for you to find your voice, because you're supporting your husband, and you believe in it too just as well, but he's kind of the spearhead, if you will. So is it a challenge for you to kind of find your footing within that whole dynamic, to things that you may see for you to do within the ministry? How has that been, or what was that like?
So no, it is not a struggle for me to find my voice, because I found my voice before I met him. So when we met, we were already both doing ministry. We were serving. He was serving, I was serving. So when we met, that's how we met. He knew me, by the Spirit, like what I was called to do and the anointing that was on my life. And so he knew what he signed up for. And so,
right.
But it's always been that with us. I thank God for that. Nothing has really changed. We've grown together in this thing. And so instead of it being, one or the other, or one, it's been a co-laboring. And I've been so grateful for that. I prayed fervently for that, because I searched for a long time for a model of co-laboring, so where it wasn't one preferred over the other, or one in the background and one in the fore. No, we co-labor. We do this thing together, and it's been like that the whole time. I remember serving at Cornerstone one time, and also I'll say my husband is very, very supportive. He is the biggest pusher for me. He is the biggest encourager. He releases me to do any and everything that the Lord tells me to do, and has my back. And so there we go. And I was hosting a young adult event, and I had done all the teaching and done all Bible study and all of that. And he was there with me. And then, so I'm finished, and I go to start looking for my things. It's time to clean up. We had food, time to clean up the food. And I'm looking for my Bible, and I'm looking for my keys. And I'm thinking, where's my stuff? And I look, and I go in the back, and everything is cleaned up. And I come out, and purse gone, Bible gone, keys. It's raining outside. The car is outside, heated up and ready to go. I said, oh my God. So, and it's been like that. It's been, when he has something, then I'm supporting and there and co-laboring with him. And when God wants to use me to preach, teach, or whatever, he's there and he's supporting and co-laboring me. And I am so godly grateful for that, because like I said, I looked for a long time and I didn't see that.
Matter of fact, let me add on to that too, Mike, because that's for a lot of couples, whether they're in ministry or not, what we have noticed is that some of the disconnects that marriages have is when one spouse is hidden or suffocated by the movement or anointing or whatever the other spouse is doing, and they can't find their own identity. And this is it's almost like, because we got married, I had to bow down everything that I had on my heart to do to make sure that you go out there. And we were blessed that when we met, we were both thriving in our own things. Whether it be ministry, whether it be business, we were both thriving. And we had those conversations early on. Like, you know, hey, are you going to have any issues if I go on tour? Or are you going to have any issues if I have to do a show and it winds up going worldwide? And we knew we were supporting one another. So it was never a instance where she was drowned out by me, right, or I was drowned out by her. We started off knowing that we had to work together to make this thing work. And everybody's vision is going to come to pass.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So Pastor Rich, being in the position that you're in, as far as you've come, because your ministry is relatively new, still. When you think about the infant from the beginning, I mean, even before the Well Church became, you know, a solid entity,
right?
Even before it was a thought.
Yeah.
When you think about everything that you've experienced and gone through up to this point, were you ready? Do you feel like you were ready when it came time, or do you feel like, man, I wasn't ready? But now you're learning. You're kind of learning now. But do you think that you were prepared? I should say is a better word.
That's a really good question. I would say mentally, nah. I wasn't ready mentally because I wasn't looking to walk in this type of mantle. That wasn't my thought process, that I'm going to be someone's pastor or anything like that. Some people were trained up for that, right? So they knew they were going to be pastors when they were like 8, you know.
Right.
No, I know a lot of brothers is like that. That was not me. So mentally, I was not prepared. But on the flip side, I was prepared from a what do you say? What is the word when you have all the things you need at your fingertips? Let's just say that. I was prepared from that aspect because the Lord had been prepping me through my whole life. So when it came time to do ministry, there were certain things. What do you say? Equipped. Yeah, I was equipped. I was equipped and didn't know it because I realized that everything that the Lord had been doing with me over the years, whether it be in working in corporate America, whether it's doing promotions, whether it was learning how to deal with people in the counseling situations. God had been prepping me all my life. So when I got to where I am now, there were certain things that I realized I'm not a rookie at this.
Right.
You know, I'm not a rookie. I've been doing this for a minute. The only thing I had to do is catch up in my mind that this is where I am right now.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's shift gears for a second. If you had to describe your marriage in one word, and this is a question for both of you to answer individually. If you had to describe your marriage in one word, what would it be? Either one of you can start.
An adventure.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
Just being on this journey with him, you know, the highs, the lows, the unknowns. I think it's been exciting. Like we said before, we have 4 boys, and they are a whole adventure all by themselves. Just keeping us laughing, keeping us on our toes. We have endured so much. We've endured sickness. We've endured, a pandemic. We've endured, hard and difficult times together. But I think most of all, I'm grateful for his friendship. We've endured a lot, but we've endured it together. There's never been, there's never been a time, I'm not gonna say there's never been a difficult time, but we've all endured the difficult times together. You know what I mean? And we've been, even when difficult times try to, pull you apart, we've been able to find our way back to our friendship every time. And so it's an adventure with him. Different seasons coming, and we're like, okay, God, what you got for us next? You know what I mean? Like, even this season in pastoring, I know that this is just a season. What do you have for us next? And we just are willing to say yes, and willing to not restrict the hand of the Lord on our lives as far as whatever he wants to do with us. So,
yeah.
Okay, what about you, Pastor Rich?
One word. Roller coaster.
Roller coaster. I guess that's an adventure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say roller coaster. All right.
Okay.
And let me explain that.
Okay.
Because when I think of a roller coaster, I think I see different turns, ups, downs, highs, lows. There are times where you are fearful, but then at the same time, you have the same level of excitement as you do fear. And so far in our marriage, we can't say that we're seeing the same things over and over and over again. We are still we're still encountering new things in our marriage.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's some excitement with that. But at the same time, there's some things that are fearful, because like, I don't know any pastors out here that would tell me that when they first started, there wasn't a little bit of fear. I think you're just talking if you say that, because there's a little bit of fear that takes place with that, because not that you're afraid that you won't be received, but more so making sure that I'm just staying in the will of God.
Right.
Don't let me get the big head, Lord. Don't let me be one of those ones that get caught up in traditionalism. But I just want to hear what you're saying, God, for us, right? So at that time, there's a little bit of fear, but the excitement is, man, he always show up. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Since day one. I mean, you know our history, brother. We haven't had a church building yet, and God been blessing. So I'm gonna say with you, roller coaster, girl.
I'm glad that you explained that, Pastor Rich.
Okay, so I'm gonna go one step further. I'm gonna kind of expound on that question.
Right.
This is a question for both of you individually as well. So I'm gonna start with you, Pastor Rich.
Okay.
Now, I asked you to describe your marriage in one word, but now I'm gonna ask you, what does it mean to be married to Pastor Tasha? What does it mean to be married to her? To you? Like, what does that mean?
What does it mean to be married to her?
Yeah. What does that mean?
Yeah. One, I'm off the market.
Okay. Okay. Got you.
Two,
I see you really trying to really set yourself up for success, and I'm gonna let you do that. I'm gonna cheer you on the whole time. I'm gonna throw you the lob, and you just catch it. You just dunk it, all right? So
I ain't missing no alley-oops. You keep throwing. I'm going in, brother. I'm going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No, but what it means to be married to her, I would say what it means. I don't know what it means to anybody else. I know what it means to me. What it means to me is that I constantly I'm thinking I need to make sure I step up to the plate. And not to toot her own horn or anything like that, but this woman is not anyone to be taken for granted.
Right.
There's nothing about her that is lackluster. There's nothing about her that gives you any thought of her slowing down. Regardless of what's going on in her life, she's pushing forward.
Right.
So to be married to her to me means that I need to be on my game all the time, because this is not one of those ones where she's not going to be steamrolled, and she won't be steamrolling in here. She is a mover and a shaker. So what it means to me is that, you know, I got to be on my game all the time.
Wow. Okay. All right, Pastor Tasha, what does it mean, you knowing this guy as long as you have? What does it mean to be married to him?
I don't know how to articulate it, but I'll try my best.
Okay.
Being married to Richard Press is, that's how I'll explain it. It is the physical manifestation of God's love for me. It is, I am so very loved well. Like, I am loved well. In every sense of the word. He is humble. He is kind. He has a servant heart. So I'm just very well cared for and taken care of. And he is, again, like I said, this is my best friend. Like, we goof off. We are goofy. We goof off together. We laugh a lot, and I thank God for his laughter. I feel like sometimes, oh gosh, Mike, why do you say this? I believe that the laughter and the joy in this man has saved my life, you know, because there were times where it was a struggle to find laughter, to find joy, and he brings that into my life. So this is my best friend. This is this the homie, this the lover, this the friend, this all that. And I'm very grateful for him. I am. I couldn't see it any other way, to be honest. And I know he, just even what he said about me, I ain't easy to love. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's you got to really be deliberate about that thing. So you got to know the Father. And I know that about myself. I am strong-willed, and, you know, but the way that he leads and the way that he loves, he makes me want to submit to him. He makes me want to follow him. He makes me want to serve him and serve with him. So yeah, that's what that means for me to be married to him.
Wow. Like, I would, that was amazing. Like, I've never heard a woman say that. Like, you love to serve and to serve with. That is, like, submission seems like it's a curse word nowadays, and wow, it's just that's amazing. That's really, really amazing. And the thing that really touched me is you said he loves you well. Like, for some reason that hit me right here. That hit me right here. I was tearing up for a second when you said that. Dang, okay.
So yeah, he is off the market.
Yeah. Man, so how would you say the community, the church community at that, has received the Well Church, as far as, you know, lending a helping hand here and there, or giving advice, or just being, you know, supportive? What has been your experience so far with the community receiving the ministry?
I can say that.
Sure.
It's been tremendous.
Okay.
I gotta tell you, when you say yes to something like this, you just don't know. You don't know what's ahead. You don't know. You don't know what people will think. You don't know what you'll endure. But I tell you, we've had so many blessed relationships in the kingdom. We're so grateful for Apostle Charlie, Prophet Vicky, Apostle Banks, Pastor Ray, Pastor Danette, like our RCC fam. Like we love them. But even outside of RCC, we have found community in the kingdom, and we are beginning even to find like community in leadership. Just to be embraced, to be loved on, to have other people just encourage you in what you're doing. It's been really amazing. It's been amazing, and I thank God for that. People always say like leadership is lonely. I haven't found that yet. I'm not there yet. And I hope I never am there, because I love to support, I love to encourage, and I pray that is reciprocated in our lives. Yeah. About you, babe?
Who, me?
Yeah, what about you?
Well, yeah.
You froze up. You froze up again. But that's absolutely super awesome.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with what she said. And I've been, for real, we have established so many new relationships that have, some of them are just as good as the old.
That's wild, right?
Yeah, like you try to discern people who come into contact with you, and whether where is it the right season for you to be rocking with these folks and things like that. And we have been overly blessed. Shout out to let me shout out my folks, man. Shout out Pastor Jason and Prophet Sonya Revelation, man. We love those.
Yeah, we
folks,
do. Yeah, we do.
We love them. And shout out Bishop Baker. Shout out Pastor Ray. I mean, we have a lot of people in our corner that are willing to assist in this walk and share what they've gone through. So I can say, the community so far, the faith community had Bishop House, my gosh.
Yeah.
Bishop House, man, we have been blessed. The community has been very receiving. It's been cool.
And in a way that we can be transparent. Like, we don't have to pretend to have it all together. Sometimes I be like, look, I don't know what we're doing. We're just saying yes to the Lord, following after the Lord. And I think even from people that are new in ministry to very seasoned leaders in the ministry, they have been just so gracious and willing to share wisdom and willing to, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Pastor Tasha, I noticed in my research and just from what I've seen, you have a heart for women. Like you really have a heart to see the advancement of women, the encouragement and the empowerment of women. She Leads Network. What's that all about? Let's talk about that for a second.
So, excuse me, I started She Leads in 2017, and it is forgive me, my voice today. It is a network of women that come together to learn how to lead in various areas of our lives, whether you are, whether you're corporate, marketplace, ministry, whether you are a homemaker, whatever area God has given you charge over, wherever he's called you to lead, we learn how to lead unto the glory of God. So we learn how to represent God in our leadership. You might be a CEO, Fortune 500, company, but when you lead, do you lead according to the standard and the leadership qualities of the Lord? And do you lead? Can people see God in your leadership? So that's the goal for She Leads. And so with the network, excuse me, with the network, we have different women in different areas of leadership that mentor other leaders. speak into the lives of other leaders, and we match mentors with those that want to teach and train and bring other women up. So if you're a woman in ministry and you want to teach and train and encourage and teach other women in ministry leadership, or if you're a business owner and you want to show someone else how to do the same, then that's the goal and the heart of the She Leads Network.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. So let me ask you this: in your efforts to work with women and the She Leads Network and everything that you have going on with the women, have you trying to frame the question right? How has that helped you in marriage? Has being a mentor to women shown you anything in reference to your marriage, taught you anything, or shined a light on anything that you incorporate in your marriage?
That's a good question. That is a good question. This might sound crazy. It just makes me ever aware of the blessing of my marriage. I'm grateful for him, because even, when I'm able to see different walks of life, different relationships, different struggles, different, and it reminds me how tailor-made he is for me, I can't say that. I can't say that.
I like when you say it.
But it makes me grateful for my husband. Mm-hmm. I mean, I said it before, and I might be setting my own self up for success. But just the push, the encouragement, and the constant reminder of who I am and what I'm called to do that comes from him. It allows me to encourage and empower and mentor and train. It releases me to do whatever the Lord has called me to do. And so just that I have that liberty, and just that and that encouragement and support, again, it just reminds me of how great this man is.
Wow. Okay. Pastor Rich, I've known you for some years now, and I've always known you to be a very stand-up, supportive guy. I've seen you in business, and I've seen you on the lighter side as well. Picking up this mantle and taking on this position, has it been a challenge for you to get others to see you in that way? And what I mean is that we're used to seeing Rich. You know what I'm saying? We used to seeing Philadelphia Eagles fan. We used to seeing laid back, always smiling, What has it been a challenge for people to get people to kind of take you seriously in that position?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I've experienced a little bit of that, but it's mainly from like my close ones, right?
Right.
Because I'm what's different about where I'm at right now in life is that I haven't had to put on the purple robe, so to speak, because I'm operating, or I'm under this title, but I've always been operating under this. What I've found out, I've always been operating under this. So a lot of my, people that I talk to, they haven't been like, wow, it's hard to receive you, because you have been talking this way for as long as I've known you. And I have fun in my Christian walk, So the fact that when it's time to break down this word, I haven't had any negative feedback like I can't receive from you yet. It's been a blessing because the real talk, Mike, I was concerned about that. That's funny that I've never said anything about like this to anybody. Initially, I was concerned about that because I'm like, I don't know if Cat's gonna see me in this light because you so used to me posting the funny videos. They used to me, doing what I do. But at the same time, is it okay to switch gears? And the Lord was showing me that, well, you're not switching gears because your ministry has been taking place the way I've had you to do it all your life. So you don't have to do what you think you have to do. That's the thing right there.
Right.
Because when people get into putting titles, so to speak, they feel like, okay, now that you have this title, now you have to change who you are to operate effectively in this title. And the Lord has shown me that, Rich, I don't need you to put on any facade. I don't need you to put on the serious face. I need you to do what you've been doing because this is how you've been ministering all your life.
Right.
The difference now is that you're more accountable to people than you were before. That's where the level of responsibility is heightened for me, is because now I have to be more accountable to people in their lives and not so much just passing by.
Right. Wow.
Right. So I can still joke and clown and play and do whatever I want to do. But when it comes to that word and I dive into the word, that's not new for anybody with me. That's not a new thing. I mean, I've always been this way when it comes to the word, and I can dive in and I can clown you about your shoes, how your shoes look at the same time. That's how the Lord made me.
I love that, Mike, because even if you've ever been to any of our Bible studies, which Pastor Rich named Chop It Up, it just, his personality is all over that. You know what I mean? We laughing, we're talking, we're applying the word, making it plain. And it's just, I would say that, like, I think that's great that you didn't all of a sudden become dignified. And I was like, come on, man, we ain't got time for that. That's taken. I believe God gives us, creates us with these personalities. And sometimes we ditch them and hide them behind what we think it's supposed to look like, rather than just being who we are and representing the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, I'll agree. I don't think you've changed much. He still be clowning in Bible study. Sometimes I gotta be like, all right, bro. No. But I think it's just your passion has gone you know what I mean? Yeah. Your passion, even for the Lord and for His people, has just increased so much during this time. So
I think that like to your guys' point, like myself, as I get older, I realize that I relate more to a more practical type of word. Like if you can break it down into things that that we deal with every day. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get with the these and the thous and the those and all that. But if you can put it in a way that I can relate to everyday things and kind of use analogies and metaphors and those type of things. I feel like me personally, I can get with that. I can relate to that more. Like I seem to gain more revelation from that. So like to your point, you know what I mean? I think that it's important that you stay in the vein, whatever vein that God has you in that given point. So like you don't turn into somebody stiff or it's totally opposite of what you already are. So that's very, very, very important.
That's real, Mike. That's good.
Yeah.
You preach right
I play this game, so I'm gonna play it with you guys. It's called Who's Most Likely. Okay.
Oh boy.
So I'm going to give you guys some analogies or whatever, and you tell me who's most likely to do or not do or whatever, depending on what I say. All right?
Okay.
So the first one is, who is more likely to cheat in games? You guys pointed at each other, huh? Okay. Okay, so I take that as a 50-50.
Oh, she pointed at herself?
No, I pointed at you.
She pointed at you. Who is most likely to read the directions? So he tried to go by the picture. You try to go by the picture, Pastor Rick?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a global type of picture. I think it looks like that. It must be right.
Pieces left over.
Right.
I'm
that was extra. That was extra.
That, but that's how, yeah.
Okay. Who is most likely to get the A?
To what?
To get an A.
To get the A?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who's most likely to tell it how it is, and who's most likely to be politically correct?
Who's most likely to tell it like it is? I think that's both of us. I don't know.
I think we'll both tell it like it is. I think I'll strive to be more politically correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree. So? I would agree with that. Yeah.
Okay. Who's most likely to do it on their own, whatever it is?
On their own?
Yeah, I'd say that. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. that was my last. Y'all did okay. That was my last question. That was my last question for that one. Yeah, y'all did okay. Y'all did all right. I got a question for you now though. And it's individual. Pastor Rich.
Sir.
What's your goal, if you have one, towards Pastor Tasha? Like, is there something that you strive for in regards to her? Is there something do you have a personal goal that you, like I said, that you have just for her and her only specifically? Like, and what I mean by that is, like, do you have a goal to, I don't know, say I love you more, or pray for her more, or I don't know, complain less? I don't know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Do you have a personal goal towards her specifically?
Okay, my goal for her, because you got chopped up when we were talking.
What's your personal goal?
Okay.
As it pertains to her. And what I mean by that is, do you have something that you work on in yourself that you want to give to her? It's hard to frame the question, but do you have a goal specifically for yourself in regards to her? And like I said, maybe you want to tell her I love you more, or maybe you want to kiss her more, or maybe you want to do something else less, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Is there something that you strive to do or be specifically for her and her alone?
Absolutely. And this is something I've said to her before. My goal is to make the things that God has over her life and the plans and goals that she has for her life, my goal is to make those things happen as easy as they can possibly happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's a. I've told her that before. I want to make sure that I'm setting her up to win. I don't want her to have any unnecessary roadblocks. If I see it happening ahead of time, I want to stomp that thing out so she can walk freely to whatever her destiny is. It doesn't matter if it's being in the house. I want to make sure that whatever is happening in this house, I want to make sure that she has the fewest obstacles as possible so that she can win. So that's an easy one. Yeah.
Boy, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut this interview short. God bless you, man of God. We're gonna wrap this thing up.
Stupid.
Too much.
All right.
That's it.
No. What about I'm waiting for Pastor Tasha. It goes both ways.
I'm sorry.
Is there a goal that you have within yourself? Like, for instance, I had the Massies on a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about how like Melvin has the workout studio, and Shakita just wrote a children's book called Old Parker. Mm-hmm. But when he was building the workout station, she was kind of like, because he had quit his job and he was focusing solely on working on building this business. And she was nervous, it's like, how are we going to have money to do this? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? But she was saying how it never occurred to him that it wouldn't work. She just never, it never seemed to occur to him that this possibly could fail. You know what I'm saying? It was no point that she ever felt like he doubted. He just, whatever. So when she went to go write the book, he was like, what you waiting on? Do it. Because in his mind, it doesn't compute to him. So when I asked her that question, she was like, her goal was to gain the faith that he has to the point where it doesn't even dawn on her that something could actually fail. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the vein that I'm saying. Like, is there something within you that you feel like you're working on in regards to him and him alone, specifically?
Okay. So yes. Rich when I met Rich, he was a promoter. Mm-hmm. And that's not occupationally, but that's his heart. He will big up everybody. He will support everybody. He will shout you out. He will share your posts. He will be at your event.
Right.
My desire is to be his promoter.
Wow.
And help him realize that in certain seasons, God hasn't called him to the background, but you're the one that's center stage. Like, he is amazing. He's an amazing pastor and teacher, and he has so much wisdom, and he has so many gifts. And sometimes he can, because of his heart, not because of insecurity, not because he'll take a back seat and he'll push somebody else before he'll step up and use his voice. So even like throughout this interview, you'll hear him say, I want to push her. I want to make a way for her. I want to do these things for her. And I love that and appreciate that. But what I cannot do as a wife is love that so much that I forget that I have to do the same thing for him. That I have to push him and excuse me, and appreciate him and big him up and make way for whatever it is God wants to do in his life. Because I think just because of his heart, not just for me, but just because of who he is, he would sometimes prefer to see other people fly, and he'll be okay with just watching somebody else fly. Yeah. So I want to see him fly. I want to see him shine. I want to see him do amazing, incredible things. And if sometimes that means it's my season to sit back, it's my time to, just not speak and be like, hey, babe, what do you have to say about it? Then I have to always be looking for opportunities to do that, or looking for what is the right time to do that. Because if not, like I said, he wants so much good for me that he won't necessarily pursue the good for himself. Right. So, even with his family, like he loves family. He's a family man, and he does for me and these boys like it's incredible. And so our desire is to reciprocate that in his life, so that he feels it, he knows it, and that the world sees it.
I just learned something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing, that you say that, because I'm kind of like in that same vein. Like I tell people in a second, yo, this person is dope. This is, this person is great. This person does this well. This person does that well, or whatever. And I think that it can become addictive, just being, just shouting people out, being a fan of someone else. It can be addictive, because you feel good too. Like, just as much as the person, you feel good too. You know what I'm saying? You like to give, you're a giver, you like to give, and it can be that. But at some point, you have to realize that you're dope too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You have to realize
I want to be his hype woman, because he hypes everybody else up.
Right.
And nobody gonna hype up Richard Press like me.
Right. And the funny thing is that nobody, and I'm realizing this too, like I said, as a girl, nobody wants to say, hey, I'm dope, I can do this, or I'm good at that. Nobody wants to say that.
Right.
Yeah.
But at some point, that's all I'm gonna say. At some point,
you're dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Dope,
At some point, you gotta know. And this is a question that I got for you. Like, I usually ask this to singers and artists, but in your doing, and this question is for both of you. Do you see what we see? Do you see what we see? Or are you just doing? Or are you just doing? Do you realize how you're seen, the people that encourage and that truly admire you? Do you actually see what we see?
Yeah, I thought you go.
Oh, I thought that was for you.
It's for both of you. Like I had Lanice on. I had Lanice Slade on. Shout out to her.
Yeah,
some weeks back. And the question just kind of came to me. Like, we have people that we admire, that sing, that rap, that preach, that do all these things, and you wonder, do they know that they are as good as they really are? Like, you look at somebody like, I don't know, Kim Burrell, right? Amazing ministry, amazing singer, whatever. Does she know? Does she hear what we hear? Like, when she listens back, or when she watches, or whatever, does she hear what we hear? Or whatever. So I'm asking you the same thing. Like, do you guys hear, or do you see what we see?
I don't know. Honestly, Mike, I think for me, my goal and aim is just to please the Father. It is. And so I would say no. I don't know. And then to please the Father, to overcome any doubt, any insecurity, anything that, any voices in your head that would try to tell you that you're not equipped or anointed or whatever. So you try to block all of that out, and you're not seeking necessarily the approval or the applause of man. And so, no, like I would say no, because our eyes are on that. And so much so because I just want to please God. Like, just want to do what he's called us to do. And I pray that it's enough. You know what I mean? Like, God, we want to please you, and we want it to be enough. And so any area of our lives or anything that we say or do that's not right, we want to get it right. So I don't know, in this particular area, when our eyes are so laser focused on that, no, I would say no. I don't know. I hope that answers the question. But for me, I would definitely say no.
Absolutely. I just really think that it's interesting. Like I really, when doing this platform, I do it in part to ask the questions that I'm just really dying to ask people who do things at a high level. I'm always interested to know what drives them, what makes them tick. Do they really see themselves in the light that they're actually in? You know what I'm saying? Like, does a Pastor Richard actually see the position he's in, even as he's in it? Like, does he actually recognize it? Does he actually accept it and see it, for what it is? Or is he just, as you said, doing the work of the Father, and it's just not really a thing that you think about? You know what I'm saying? I always think that I'm always interested to know when people, especially with people that do things at a very high level, in which you guys do. So I'm always interested to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, how does one see themselves as they,
wow,
if that makes sense.
I think even when amazing things happen and we're able to step back and look and be like, yo, that was dope. It's never, yo, I'm dope. It's
right.
It's, man, look what the Lord has done. Like, yo, he showed out. You know what I mean? Like, so it is, I've never looked at it like, yeah, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Instead, it's like, man, God, you're amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, baby. What about you?
When it comes to ministering, not so much, because what I do after every time we get off that mic. One of the things I always want to check on is I want to make sure that nothing I did distorted what God was trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I didn't, use a bunch of filler words, or I'm hoping that, I didn't get too long trying to explain something that need to be, that type of thing. And she would be like, nah, Rich, it was dope. And I didn't see it that way. I was like, man, Lord, I'm just praying that I didn't mess up nothing you was trying to say. Right. And she sees it completely different. She's like, wow, it was a phenomenal word. It came across well. The people received it, that type of thing. So, not so much. But on the other hand, it has something to do with like take for instance, Mike, when and back when I was doing artist management, right? If I walked into an auditorium, or I walked into a hall or whatever, and people would see me as, okay, stuff about to get right, I walked in there like that.
Okay.
Now that part I would walk in there because I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure that my artist is straight 100%. They ain't gotta want for nothing. And if anything out of order, yeah, I'm that guy that's gonna come fix that.
Right.
So if Mike came to hit that mic, Mike shouldn't have to worry about nothing but doing what he came to do.
Right.
Wow. So in that respect, I would be like, yo, I saw that because I came in there with the intent to do that. But as far as this word and everything, that's completely different. That's completely different.
Right. Wow. That is really awesome. I just have two more questions.
Okay.
Two more. is who you are as a person different from who you are as a couple?
Is who I am, well, that's for both of us?
Yes.
Different from who I am as a couple?
Yes.
No, I think I deal with the same deck every time. What'd you think?
I don't understand the question.
Like, do you, when you're out doing, working, ministering, whatever,
Okay.
or not even in official capacity, just being you, just being Nina Jean. Pastor Tasha.
Jokes. Okay. Okay.
Oh. No. Do you feel different? Like, are you different as a person that's just out doing what you do than when you are Mrs. Press or Mr. Press? Like, have you gotten to do you feel like you've gotten to the point in your relationship that there is no distinction between you as the person and you as the spouse? Like, have you guys gotten to that point where or are you still different? Like, some people, some spouses may be more outgoing without their mate than they are, and then some might be more quiet when they're not with, or whatever. It just, do you feel the same when you're alone and when you're, what I'm saying? Do you have to? Go ahead.
So I would have to say yes and no, because there's times when we're the same. And then I think we still have individual characteristics that we bring to the table that are not the same. I think I'm different when I'm in a school setting than I am when we're just kicking it. I think, and I will say this: we celebrate our differences. I was telling him the other day, like, I don't know if I should say this. Pastor Rich is way more pastoral than I am. Like, Pastor Rich will be like, he don't tell people no. For the most part, he'll be like, "Come on over to the house, get something to eat," and I'll be like, so no, but there's such a balance, and I love how the Lord allows, like, things that He's strong in, He helps me become better in, and things that I'm strong in, we help each other. There is still individual characteristics of who we are, but they balance each other, they complement each other, they sharpen each other. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna say no. I don't think we're the same. But then there are some times when it's just harmonious, especially when we're in a real relaxed environment. We're kicking it, we're clowning, we're joking, we're loving on friends and family. What you see is what you get. But even, we do have very distinctive personalities. I will say that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you agree? He's trying to be careful. Do you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
This is my last official question. And this can be individual or you can answer it, together. It's a question that I ask all my guests. So just take a moment, think about it, and give the most transparent answer that you can give.
Oh, Lord.
Okay.
Anytime you got to set the thing up like that.
I'm going to sip this coffee.
Yeah.
It's not that bad, trust me. And that question is, is as follows. What would have to happen in your married life, if it has not happened already, excuse me, for you to consider your marriage a success? What does success look like for you specifically, as a couple? What does success look like?
Go on, cue the music.
What's success look like, man?
Yeah, I'm about to yield to this one. You start this one.
Yield to, I think, success for me, for our marriage, is us saying yes to the will of the Father. I think from the beginning, I asked the Lord for a husband that that our marriage and our life and our children would bring him glory. You know what I mean? And so at any time in our marriage over the course of 15 years that wasn't happening, it was unsettling to me. You know, I didn't, though I am very much passionately in love with this man, I didn't ask the Lord for husband and family just so that I could be happy and passionately in love. But I wanted kingdom impact. I wanted spiritual reproduction, so to speak. You know what I mean? I wanted to serve the Lord. I wanted to serve the Lord, like legit. So much so before I met him, I didn't even know I was gonna get married. You know what I mean? It's like if it don't serve you and your agenda, I don't need it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. And so at any point where that wasn't happening, it didn't feel successful to me. But at the point where we became and are becoming one and are becoming, you know, at the point where we said yes together and in one accord and in unity and began to walk in the way that, you know, where we felt like God was pleased, that became successful to me. You know, when I see my children praying, or when I see my children desiring to live godly lifestyles, that's success to me. You know what I'm saying? I know at one point I told him, you know, and I don't know how true it was, but at the moment it was my truth. I was like, we could eat beans and franks for the rest of our lives together, as long as I know that you're leading us in the will of the Lord. It's not about money. It's not about the things that we acquire, houses, cars, whatever. It's about me knowing that this family, this union is in smack dab in the will of the Father. And that was my truth. You know, I don't know about the beans and franks now. You know, I'm a little older and wiser. but that was my truth. As long as wherever you lead us, we'll follow you, as long as it's in the will of the Lord. And so for me, that is what success looks like for marriage for me.
Wow.
Okay. What success looks like for me is being able to wake up every day, go throughout my day with her, and end the day out knowing that we're as close to the vows that we set on the day that we said I do, as we could possibly be. I don't want to ever be separated that way. I don't want to ever be at the point where we're no longer looking at each other as one, but now we're starting to recognize the two. We're no longer two. We put away that two thing once we said I do. Yeah. And I want to be as close to that declaration over our lives as possible daily. That would be a successful day. And that's another thing about marriage. You take it day by day. All right. You've been through storms. You're going to continue to have storms. That these are things that are going to happen. But each day, if you can get as close as you can possibly get to the day you said I do, then that's a successful day.
Wow.
I want to change my answer. Can I change my answer? His answer sound a little better than mine.
You went to the bottom of the ocean, didn't he?
Yes, he did. You set him up well, Mike. You set him up well.
Listen, all I do is throw up the lob. He dunked it. He dunked it. Hey, listen. Wow. I want to thank you guys for coming on the platform, coming on the hot seat, if you will. I really appreciate everything that you've expressed tonight. I could really go way past this, but I know that time is spent, and I know we have things to do, and this is only an hour show. But I want to thank you and tell you that I appreciate you coming on. I do not count this as a small thing, and I do not take this for granted based off of our relationship. I just really thank you, and I really, really appreciate it.
Man, we appreciate you, Rob.
Yeah,
I can honestly say, man, we had a great time. Great time. And not just the fact because you family, we always this is our vibe.
Right.
But what you're doing right now, I mean, I ain't gonna front. Some of the questions you asked, I was like, wow, you must have done this before.
Seasoned interviewer.
Yeah. On point, man. I don't pray nothing but God's best blessings on this thing as you continue to get larger and get to more arenas and get into more people's ears and more people's internet feeds. Man, Rob, Mike, this is great, man. Thank you, man, for having us.
Yeah. Thank you, Mike.
One last thing. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, they're interested in maybe coming to the Well Church, or just getting maybe some guidance from you, or maybe they heard something today that kind of resonated with them, and maybe they wanted to get a further explanation of whatever. How can people get in touch with you?
Well, we try to stay consistent with all of our handles, so it's not hard to find us, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Facebook Live, DMs, IMs, whatever. It's always going to be the Well Church VA. The Well Church VA. Feel free to drop in there. We are praying with people, praying for people, standing with people.
Yeah.
We have members all across. Praise the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got members that are just not here in the state, but they've heard from the Lord to walk with us. So it's not hard to find us. Just check us out on any one of the social media platforms until we make that release about the building.
You can't hold.
I haven't said anything. I said, look, it's going to happen.
Yes.
So I'm not saying I'm not releasing anything.
Exclusive.
Mike, he can't hold nothing.
Well, you guys have been super amazing, and again, I thank you all for coming on. And I look forward to having you guys on, again in the near future. Thank you again for participating in this month of the Power Couple. And I wish you much blessings on everything that you have going on and everything that you got coming up. The stuff that you're willing to share and the stuff that you're not willing to share at this moment. I wish you much blessings. I wish you much blessings on that, and on your family and your finances and your ministry. I wish you exponential blessings.
Thank you so much, bro. Appreciate you, man. And give our love to the fan. D, shout out D.
We love you, D.
Absolutely. She'll be on here next week. So please tune in. Shout out to her. She got her bachelor's degree last week. And
That's what's up.
Congrats.
So we're still celebrating that. But yeah, she'll be on the platform next week, and whew, we're gonna see.
That's what's up. That's what's
Well,
up.
we'll be tuned in.
We'll be tuned in.
Yeah. But again, thank you very much. Pastor Richard and Natasha Press of the Well Church. Y'all have a good night and an awesome weekend.
Thank you, Mike. God bless.
I love you, brother. Take it
God
easy.
bless. And there you have it, guys. Another awesome set of guests. Shout out to Kelly, my cousin Kelly. Thank you, Miss Linda. Congratulations on your 42 years of marriage, Miss Linda. That's very, very, very awesome. Very, very awesome. Shout out to my little brother, Jay. What's up, my friend? I'm going to call you later. All right. I appreciate you coming on. Another great guest, the Presses, the Well Church of Virginia. Please check them out. Go to all their social media sites to see everything that they have going on. I want to thank you guys again, as always, for coming on, because I know that you could be doing a half a gazillion other things, but you chose to sit here with us and, glean whatever you could glean from this platform. And that's what it's all about. I just want to be an asset and not liability. I want to ask the questions that I would think that you would want to ask, and I want to learn, and I definitely learn every single time. Shout out to them. They are an amazing, awesome power couple. They support one another, and they genuinely enjoy each other's company. They not only love each other, they like each other. You know what I'm saying? And so that's so evident, you know what I mean? And that's what it is. But I thank you for coming on. I thank you for supporting. I thank you for the DMs and the IMs of encouragement. I thank you for sharing the posts. I thank you for commenting. I thank you for everything. And I appreciate it. Shout out to Daniel Solomon. Thank y'all for coming on the show last week. I really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I just can't thank you guys enough. I mean, this is something that was birthed out of the pandemic, and with each passing interview, with each passing month, I feel I'm beginning to feel just a little bit more comfortable, and I'm learning so much. And thank you for going on this journey with me. I really, really, really appreciate it. So with that being said, I hope that everyone has an awesome night. I hope that everyone has a even more awesome weekend. I think, and I pray much blessings on everything that you guys have going on, whatever vision, whatever plan, whatever order you're trying to do. I wish God's blessing on whatever it is, career, finances, businesses, whatever it is. And again, I thank you. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next week. All right, let's take a walk.